I'm recording this video a few days before I'll post it, but Trump announces wild protest in D.C. on January 6th, the day Congress will count Electoral College votes, and claims it is impossible. He lost the election. If you're watching this video when I post it or shortly thereafter, it will be leading right up to Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Close to New Year, so Happy New Year, everybody. Get drunk on both. Have some damn fun. But make sure you get a designated driver. But the party doesn't stop after New Year's, baby. We keep it rolling all the way to January 6th. Trump on Saturday promised a wild protest in D.C. on January 6th as he continues to deny that he lost the election. Statistically impossible to have lost the 2020 election, he tweeted. Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. We'll be there, we'll be wild. One thing I didn't mention before in the past when I've talked about the election is the setup. I talked about the setup from the beginning, but to have this kind of divisive nature where each side would have been protesting the results if the other side had won. So had Trump won, the Democrats would have been complaining. It all manifested from the way the mail-in balloting was done. That was the situation that set all of this up. Now you can go whatever direction you want with that and the things we've seen with mail-in ballots and so on and so forth, but that's where I felt like the election setup happened, where regardless of who won, we were going to be set up for something, some kind of legal challenge, because it was unprecedented. And even though Birx and Fauci said it was okay to vote in person, Democrats still pushed forward with that, interestingly enough. Congress will meet to accept the presidential election results on January 6th. President-elect Joe Biden won the election, and presidential electors cast their votes last week in the Electoral College. Trump and his campaign have disputed the results and launched numerous legal challenges, although nearly all of them have failed. Millions of more Americans cast ballots for Biden than Trump, paving the way for the president's Democrat challenger to succeed him on January 20th. Earlier this month, the Supreme Court rejected a key lawsuit from Texas that attempted to nullify millions of votes cast in key swing states that voted for Biden. The president's legal team has stated that it will continue to launch challenges to the election results. However, experts say that it is very unlikely that none will succeed, according to Fox News. Trump has been critical of those in his party who have accepted Biden's victory, with some of his allies planning to call for a debate in the House when the election results are received next month before a joint session of Congress. On Tuesday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell recognized Biden as president-elect in a speech on the floor of the Senate. He later reportedly asked colleagues not to object when the Electoral College votes are presented in the chamber. The request may put to bed any hopes of a last-minute reprieve for the president. McConnell's actions angered Trump, who called on him and other Republicans to get tougher. Trump says we won the presidential election by a lot. Fight for it, don't let them take it away. Trump stated on Twitter, President Trump lost the election by more than 7 million votes, with Joe Biden winning 306 Electoral College votes to Donald Trump's 232. And this is what I've heard people talking about before. Right? I'm not a Republican. I don't consider myself a Republican or a conservative in this sense. It's hard, obviously, to define how we consider ourselves or how we define what party we're in or what our ideologies line up with. But they say this. They say that, and this is just somebody's take on it. I thought it was pretty interesting, so I thought I'd share it. But they say that a traditional conservative generally is a puss. The type of person who's a puss and just bends over and keeps giving more and more ground to the Democrats. Those are the people that the Maga folk seem to have an issue with, and Trump seems to have an issue with. So they talk about Trumpism and Maga being different than a conservative. I guess under that umbrella, you could still call yourself a Republican, but not be really so much conservative, like the old school traditional conservative. Like I said, the puss type, where it's defined as. Now, that's just somebody's take on it. Again, thought that was interesting, but to understand that there's a difference between MAGA, that wing of the party, and the traditional conservative. So even though I'm somebody who tends to be centrist on some issues, sometimes left or right, I would say that myself, I'm more of a MAGA type person. America first, whatever it takes for America and all of you to do well is what I care most about. So tying that back into this, what Trump's really asking for is he's asking for a bunch of neocons, as I've heard them called before, and I haven't looked that terminology up, so I'm not going to act like I know exactly what that means or, how that's laid out, but he's in essence asking these pussy-type Republicans, the old guard, to have some stones for a change. And that's like asking the 13-year-old wimpy kid who's getting bullied all the time by the Democrats to just one day bow up and throw that first punch. Not going to happen. That little wimpy, scrawny kid, he may work out, and by the time he's a senior in high school, he may be a big-time jock, but, it's not like clock high, where that punch is just thrown, it lands like you see in the movie, and down goes the bully. Not like that. It doesn't work that way, or in the cartoons where you see that. The kid throws the shaky punch with the wobbly arm, and it just connects on the jaw, and boom, down goes the bully. He's asking the wrong people to support him, is what I see it as when I heard kind of that, the way it was defined, like MAGA being separate, apart from the Republican movement itself, that MAGA is its own animal. And a lot of those MAGA folk, those are the ones calling for the boycott in Georgia in those Senate races, whereas the old guard is like, please, please vote for us. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Am I on the right track with that? Am I thinking about that right? I don't know. Thanks for watching.